Can I remind you that the taking of photographs and videos is not allowed. There will be a 15-minute interval and the Gaiety bar will be open. At the end of the performance, we will be collecting for cancer research and the Gaiety Restoration Fund, so please give generously. So now, sit back and relax.
Donkey. Oh, sorry, can I help you?
That would be most kind. I'm looking for Alice Winterbottom, Lucy.
Alice Winterbottom?
Yes, she's my sister-in-law. You do know her, don't you?
Of course I do. She ain't here, though. Not at the moment.
She's not at home either. I can't understand it. She said she would meet me at Chorterby Station, but there's no sign of her. She knew I was arriving this afternoon.
Well, that's hardly surprising. Everything's been falling down round about our ears today.
Oh! Oh dear.
See what I mean?
Most unfortunate.
Most unfortunate indeed. Chorterby's in a bit of turmoil, you see. What with Wendy Timms taking a tumble.
Who is Wendy Timms, if I may ask?
She used to run the pilots here.
Pardon? Pilots? What pilots?
You know, pilots, like yoga. She used to run the yoga classes here too.
Oh, you mean Pilates?
Oh yeah, that's it. Bendy Wendy, we call her. On account of some of the positions she used to get into. Fair made my eyes water, I can tell you.
I'm sure. What exactly happened to her?
Well, like I say, she took a tumble, fell down the stairs. Oh, I don't know what we're going to do now. I suppose I'm going to have to go into Dunmore for my lottery tickets in future.
I'm sorry, I don't follow.
Oh, Bendy runs the newsagents in the square. Well, used to. Most inconvenient, really. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure she didn't mean to fall down the stairs. Is she badly hurt?
Oh, yes, pretty.
Oh dear, I'm sorry.
She's dead.
Dead?
Yes, yes. So, not as bendy as we all thought, you see.
That's dreadful.
Oh, you're telling me. Still, I suppose someone will take the shop over.
No, I mean about Wendy.
Oh, yeah, that of course, yeah. Still, I suppose that's why Alice wasn't at the station to meet you. Slipped her mind, I expect, on account of everybody running round like headless chickens.
An unfortunate simile in the circumstances.
Eh?
No matter. But yes, I expect you're right. That's what's happened to Alice.
Yeah. I know who you are.
I...
You're that crime writer friend of Alice's, aren't you? That Agatha Crusty.
Actually, it's pronounced Crusty.
Oh. Kind of fancy way of saying it, you mean? Like what you call it, them Pilates.
Exactly. And yes, I am indeed Agatha Crusty. I am indeed she.
I'm very pleased to make your acquaintance. Alice said you was coming.
Oh, that's something then.
You could be writing any more of them books of yours then?
Well, not at the moment, no. Waiting for inspiration, you might say.
Oh, you won't get it around here. Nothing much ever happens in Chorterby.
Well, except for Wendy taking a tumble.
Well, yeah, except for that, of course.
So,
I can't get on with them detective novels. I like a touch of realism myself. I mean, they're so far-fetched.
Oh, not all of them.
No? Oh, you take my word for it. Some of them has a murder every few pages. Well, that's not what happens in real life, is it?
Well,
No, of course it's not. You take a place like Chalkby. Dad, how many murders do you reckon we has here a month?
well, I'd be very surprised if you had any.
Exactly. So if you want to experience what goes on in a small rural community, you've come to the right place.
I'll bear that in mind.
I'd do more than that if I were you. My advice to you is to tell it like it is. A touch of realism. That's what your readers want. Now you do that and you'll have yourself a far better book. You mark my words.
You seem to know an awful lot about detective novels, Mr.
Not. Harry not.
Well, Mr. Not. For someone who claims not to read detective novels, you're surprisingly well informed.
Yeah, well, I suppose that comes with having a cousin on the force, don't it?
Ah, you have relations in the local constabulary, do you?
Cousin George. P.C. Lockett, that is. Now, he's the eyes and ears of the law and order around here.
Well, that's reassuring.
I wouldn't go that far.
Harry, I'm looking for... Oh, and I found her. I am so sorry, Agatha. The train time went completely out of my mind. But we've had a terrible accident, you see.
Yes, so I heard. Poor Wendy. Harry here has been telling me about it.
But we can't think how it happened. Tripping like that. A more sure-footed, agile person you couldn't wish to meet. It's just such a pity it should happen just before you arrive.
Well, I'm sure she didn't fall downstairs because I was coming.
No, well, you know what I mean. Anyway, you're looking well. It's good to see you. And you're here to enjoy yourself. This is a holiday for you.
Mind you, you could always start writing a new book along the lines I suggested.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Knott.
Harry.
Harry.
Alice, Harry, I'm so glad I found you both.
Olivia! Oh, what's the matter? Harry, a chair for Miss Truscott Pratt. There, take a seat. Right, take a deep breath and tell us what it is.
It's so awful and a job. Honestly, just all he knows. How do you know? They've only just discovered him.
Him?
Harry Cragthorne.
Barry? What about him?
So awful, and on top of Wendy, too.
Barry was on top of Wendy. I can't say I'm surprised.
You can keep your lewd thoughts to yourself, Harry.
Sorry I spoke.
What's happened to Barry, Olivia?
He was in the water butt, the one round the back of the hall.
What was he doing in the water butt?
Drowning, apparently. So it seems. Isabella saw him when she went to pick a pumpkin at the allotment. His feet were sticking out the top, gave her quite a shock. It was his wellies that caught her attention.
His wellies.
Yes, he wore those ghastly yellow wellies with the beaks on the front, his Donald Ducks, as he called them.
Oh, yes, I mean, I wouldn't be seen dead in them.
No, me neither. Barry, it seems, didn't have a choice.
Could I ask, who was Barry?
Oh, Barry Cragthorne. He's an Eton the Gardening Society. Sadly, no longer.
I take it the police have been informed.
Oh yes, George is on the case.
Oh, well, that fills me with confidence.
Yeah, that's my cousin you're talking about.
It seems he's about to experience what really goes on in a small rural community, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, well,
Well, George has requested some help from Dunmore. They're sending a detective inspector.
Oh, well, that's a relief.
Yes, he's got quite the reputation. A detective inspector Twig, I believe.
Ah! What does that mean, Agatha? When you say "ah" like that, it usually means you disapprove.
Let's just say that D.I. Twig and I have come across each other before.
chair of the All Saints Village Hall Committee. Eleanor Wagstaff? PC Lockett said you wanted to see me.
That's correct.
Well, that unfortunate accident with poor Mr. Cragthorne, I expect.
I wasn't sure it was an accident. It's got all the hallmarks are somewhat suspicious in my mind.
You're not suggesting it was murder?
I'm not suggesting anything at the moment. But I'd like to be interviewing anyone that was in the vicinity yesterday afternoon, and since the incident happened round the back of this here hall, it was suggested by PC Lockett that you would know the folk I should be talking to on account of your position.
Ah, right.
Yeah, so it's most helpful if you could make a list of likely suspects, or witnesses, or potential witnesses, so to speak.
Of course, from the top.
Or the bottom, whichever you prefer. As the chair, you're in charge of the village hall here, aren't you?
Well, strictly speaking, I suppose it's the vicar who's actually in charge. I look after the day-to-day running, though, and then there's Harry the caretaker and Maisie who cleans.
Eleanor Waggle, was it?
Wagstaff.
Wagstaff.
And then there are those of us on the committee.
How many would that be?
Oh, well, let's see. 10 of us, including me, or rather less now.
What do you mean?
Well, Barry was on the committee, and so was Wendy.
Wendy? Yeah, I know Wendy.
Well, she did the yoga and Pilates classes. Tragically, she fell downstairs yesterday and broke her neck.
Did she indeed? Wonder why PC Lockett didn't tell me this, I'd like to know.
Probably didn't want to bother you. It was just a silly accident after all, a bit like poor Maisie's husband last month.
What accident was this train?
Well, he was cleaning his shotgun and it sort of went off. Nasty mess by all accounts.
Take it he died as a result of his wounds?
Oh, I should think so. But we need to think about recruiting more people on the committee, really.
Well, this Maisie wasn't on the committee then.
No, but her husband was. I forgot about that.
What about Harry Knott, was it? He's not on the committee either.
Harry's not, no.
Harry not on committee.
No, Harry Knott is not on the committee.
I know.
He's got enough on his plate, poor dear.
What do you mean?
A bit of family trouble. His wife, Carrie?
Yes?
They're going through a bit of a bad patch. In fact, word is, she wants to divorce him.
Oh, I see. How do you know?
I shouldn't say really, but she is quite a bit younger than him, and the grass is always greener, as they say.
And what exactly makes the grass greener?
Pardon?
You said the grass is always greener.
What I meant was that, from Carrie's perspective, an attractive younger man might seem, well...
Attractive.
Yes.
Like Miss Wagstaff. Is there anybody else?
Don't think so?
Well, I'd like to get this investigation underway. I'd like to start by talking to your vicar. Is he around?
Oh, I saw him earlier. Would you like me to fetch him?
Yes, that'd be most helpful, thank you.
Right, well, if you'll excuse me.
Yeah. Excuse me?
Yeah.
You are?
Easy Groom.
Ah, the cleaner.
That's right. How did you know?
I'm a detective.
Very impressive.
Also heard about your husband. Please accept my condolences.
Oh, right. Yes, thanks. You are good, aren't you?
Years of training.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I have got some work to do.
Well, I'll be one word with you later.
Please yourself.
Aye, of course.
Detective Inspector Twig?
Ah, do come in. Take a seat, will you? I'll ask you a few questions. Just some basic information first. Let's start with your name, shall we? And your name is Reverend
Bishop.
Sorry, Bishop. And your name is
That is my name.
Bishop.
Bishop Toby.
Toby Bishop. The Reverend Toby Bishop.
Glad to get that cleared up. Difficult not knowing who you are.
You're very well aware of who I am, Inspector.
Of course. You live in the vicarage, I understand.
Yes. I'm the vicar. Goes with the job.
What did you know about Barry Cragthorne, the deceased?
Ah, he's dead.
I know he's dead. The question I'm asking is, how did he die?
He drowned.
I know he drowned. The question is, how did he drown?
His head was underwater. The water line. And from that evidently helpless position, it seemed he had very little alternative other than to drown.
The question still remains, however, Bishop.
Reverend?
The question still remains. Did he jump, or was he pushed?
Well, I think it's most unlikely he would have jumped. I mean, for one thing, he needed a springboard to dive into the air, and I find that prospect most remote.
Remote how?
Well, remote in that he could dive from a standing position into a water butt.
But what? I heard a butt. There is a butt, isn't there?
Yes, the water butt that he failed to jump into.
So you admit it. He's pushed.
I have to admit that is the most likely scenario, yes, Inspector.
Your parishioners in the habit of being drowned in water butts, Vicar.
No, you've got me there. This is a first. But Barry wasn't exactly one of my parishioners.
Oh, so he wasn't one of your parishioners? Was he?
What I mean to say is that while technically he lives in the parish, lived in the parish, I should say, he wasn't a member of the congregation. In fact, he disdained the church.
Really? So did this disdain he had for the church cause any feelings of resentment in your part?
What way?
Did you disdain his disdain? Did you resent his resentment?
I idea what you're talking about.
Did you, in a word, decide enough was enough? And you were so incensed by his disdainful view of the church that you decided to commit a very unchristian act?
What are you all about?
Did you provide him with a springboard into the afterlife, so to speak?
You're suggesting that I drowned Barry Cragthorne because he didn't go to church?
I keep an open mind, Vicar. But as Sherlock Holmes once said, when you eliminate the impossible, what remains, however improbable, is most probably a possibility.
Sure he said that.
Very likely.
Oh, if we're done then, I'm glad to see you.
Really? Thank you.
Yes, what I meant was it's good of you to... this is Eleanor, Vicar.
I know, we've already met.
Yes, she is a real tower of strength around here.
Oh, really?
Oh yes, she's a real buttress of the village hall.
Oh, I don't like to be thought of as a buttress, Vicar.
When I say buttress, I didn't mean in the physical sense. No. What I meant was that we look to you for moral guidance. Yes, that's it. I don't know what we do without her, Inspector.
I see. Do you two know I am undertaking an interview here?
Yes, I was just telling you about Ellen. She keeps us all in order. She does so much around here, and she's very strict as well.
Thank you, Vicar.
My pleasure.
Well, I'd like to carry on with my interview.
Sorry, yes, fine. I thought we'd finished.
In the meantime, perhaps.
Oh, I only came in to see if you gentlemen would like a drink.
Oh, that's a very nice thought, Eleanor. What will you have, Inspector?
I don't drink on duty, sir.
No, I made a cup of coffee, or tea, perhaps.
Oh, still a bit early, isn't it? Sun's not over the yardarm yet. I'll have a coffee then.
Right. And Toby? Oh, I mean Vicar.
Tea would be lovely. Thank you, Eleanor.
Okay. Won't be long.
I take it you'll have no objection if we use this hall for our crime incident room, would you?
No problem on my part, no. It's mostly used by the sections in the evening, of course. So I imagine you'll be using it mostly during the day.
Indeed.
Yes, I don't know who's got what times booked, of course. Eleanor, Miss Wagstaff looks after all that sort of thing. But perhaps you could ask her. She does so much around here. She is invaluable.
Have you known Miss Wagstaff long, Vicar?
Oh, yes, about 5 years now. Yes, I really don't know what we'd do without her.
Really? You married, Vicar?
Married? No. Why do you ask?
No reason. Just wondered whether there's a Mrs. Vicar, that's all.
Well, the answer to that, Inspector, is no.
See?
You do seem to have a way of impugning things, you know, Inspector, when you say things.
I'm not in the habit of impugning, I'll have you know.
Sorry, sir, but this lady's most insistent and says she must see you.
What lady?
This lady.
Oh, I may have known. As long as you promise not to interfere.
Thank you.
But obviously, if you've got anything to contribute that may be useful.
Of course.
Well, send them in now, shall I, sir?
Yeah, send them in, Locket.
This way, please, lady gentlemen, this way.
I think we know the ways the whole thing
This way,
works.
please, ladies and gentlemen, this way.
I know what to do.
This way.
That's my seat, President. That's
Right.
my seat.
Right.
That's my seat.
Well, if you could just have a seat here for me, please, thank you. The inspector is about to speak.
Oh, not a sermon, I pray.
I'll leave that to you, Reverend.
Thank you.
Right, now I've called you all here to establish the facts behind the sad demise of Barry Crankthorne. As you probably know, he was found head down in a water butt behind this very hall yesterday. I have here a list of the people involved in the hall here, drawn up by Miss Eleanor Wagstaff.
Oh, well done, Eleanor.
Thank you, Miss Wagstaff. Right, let's just see we're all here. Miss Eleanor Wagstaff.
Here.
I know you're here. I don't have to stand up, just acknowledge your existence, okay? Yeah. Alice Winterbottom.
Here.
Olivia Truscott Pratt.
All present and correct.
Maisie Grimm.
Here.
Isabella Battersby.
Oh, absolutely.
Reverend Toby Bishop. Reverend Toby Bishop.
Well, you can see I'm here, can't you?
These things by the book, Reverend. You come to realise that my methodical methods is what produces results, and I don't go by gut instinct or women's institution like some people.
Surely you mean intuition, Inspector.
I mean what I want to mean, Miss Crusty.
Crusty?
Right. See that not everyone's here. Mortimer Gascoigne.
Oh, he's got a little tummy bug.
Have you indeed? And what about Tina Toppin?
No, she won't be here today. She's gone up to town. She has some free tickets for a new production of The Pirates of Penzance. Yes, so she asked me to go along as well, but of course it was Monday.
You didn't tell me she'd offered you a ticket, Toby.
Oh, didn't I? Oh, sorry, Eleanor. Yes. Yes, well, it seems a shame to miss it, really, but you know, our policeman's lot is not a happy one. Yes, I think you'd enjoy it, Inspector.
I don't think so, thank you.
You know, Tina gave us her yum-yum in the Mikado. Quite lovely.
Can we please stop all this talk of pirates and yum-yums? What about Sebastian Chambers? What became of him?
Oh, he's away too, on holiday.
And when's he back?
Oh, I don't rightly know. He's only away for a week. Well, soon I know, because we have a rehearsal for Hampton on Tuesday. Yes.
All What about Oliver Truscott Pratt? By any chance your husband, Mrs.
Oh,
Truscott
good
Pratt?
heavens, no. I'm a miss. He is my brother. And he's busy at the moment, so he said just start without him and he'll try and pop along later.
Not too much later, I hope.
I shouldn't have thought so. Things to do, you know.
I'll have things to do too. What about Harry, not the caretaker?
Oh, yes, he is.
Where?
But here.
I don't see him.
No, I mean he's the caretaker here.
So where is he?
Well, he's not here.
He's your cousin, isn't he, Lockett?
Oh, well, he certainly is, sir. Of that I am certain.
So can you go and find him and ask him if he'll favour us with his presence?
Well, shall I go get him then?
That'd be most helpful, thank you. So to business. We're here to establish how Barry Crunthorpe met his end.
Cragthorne.
What?
His name is Barry Cragthorne.
So it is. Right, we're here to establish how Barry Cragthorpe met his end. And now for each murder, for murder is most certainly what it was, we need 3 component parts. We need motive, opportunity, and means. The murder needed a motive to murder Barry. He needed the opportunity to do it, and he needed a method of killing him. M-O-M.
Isn't this exciting? It's just like the television.
How do we solve these crimes? 3 simple words: detection, application, and dedication. D-A-D. Put them together to produce results. Killer in the dock. Sooner. Here.
Is this a particularly scientific method, Inspector?
I think it's very impressive.
Thank you. Right, so let's apply the science, shall we? What did we know about Barry Cragthorpe?
He was a cheapskate.
See, and how did you come to that conclusion?
Oh, he always haggled over my brother's birds, never wanted to pay a proper price.
I don't quite follow.
Oliver bagged some lovely pheasants, and Barry was always looking for a cheaper deal. Same with the rabbits, although he had much more in common with them than the way he carried on with any bit of skirt.
Am I to assume that Mr. Cragthorpe had a bit of a reputation?
Now, I don't think that is entirely fair.
There's no smoke without fire, then, eh?
Is your brother likely to be much longer, Miss Truscott Pratt?
I don't know.
Well, you think you can go and see if you can hurry him along?
As you like. Excuse me. Sorry.
Who was actually discovered the body?
I did! It was I.
You are.
Isabella Buttersby. I run the Ferret's Head.
The pub.
The local hostelry. Yes.
So you run this local hostelry on behalf of Firkin Ales, is that correct?
It is.
And you also run the local cookery class?
Oh, I do. I'm on the hall committee too.
Good, good. So can you tell me how you found the deceased?
Oh, how I found him.
Yes.
Well, I found him quite charming to begin with. He was a bit...
No, I mean, how did you find him in the water butt?
Oh, I see. Well, I was going to pick a pumpkin.
Sorry, bit of a prop getting here.
And you, Mr.
Truscott Pratt, Oliver. Is, maybe not here. The old girl said she was coming.
You're referring to Miss Olivia Truscott Pratt. She's going to look for you.
Oh, shall I go and...
No, you'll stay right here. You've no business bringing a firearm into this hall.
Sorry, I was working.
Aye, indeed.
Sorry, excuse me.
Sorry, Miss Buttersby.
Buttersby. And it's Mrs.
Right, Mrs. Right, you were going to pick a pumpkin.
Yes, to make a pie. Pumpkin pie. I'm well known for my pie. Gooseberry pie, rhubarb and
Fucking hell. Fucking hell. Yes, yes.
Well, I don't think it's that surprising. It is the brewery after all.
Don't forget your lovely fish pies too, Isabella.
Oh, all down to using the best ingredients, Alice.
Well, do you know, I think I'd quite like the recipe.
Oh, we'll do it again.
Can we carry on?
on?
So you spotted the deceased Wellington boots sticking out of the water bucket.
Yeah.
And you discovered the deceased was dead.
Oh, completely.
What time approximately was this?
Oh, I can tell you exactly what time.
Good, now we're getting sold.
Yes, because the church clock struck 3 just as I reached the pot.
Excellent. Now we've established that the victim met his demise yesterday around about 3 o'clock. We're getting close to the offer opportunity for the murder to have happened. Did anybody else see anything yesterday around about 3 o'clock that was out of the ordinary?
I was round back of the hall at 2, and there was no sign of Barry then.
And you are Matey Grim, the cleaner.
The cleansing, hygiene, and sanitation were heard of, yes.
Glad we got that settled. So what were you doing round the back of the hall?
Well, I just finished doing my work in the hall, and I was on my way to the Topping's house to clean the surgery.
Surgery?
Mr. Topping's a dentist.
Good. That nearly narrows the time available to commit the murder. You must have done the deed between 2 and 3 o'clock.
Could I ask a question, Inspector?
Go ahead.
You said he. Could not the murderer have been a she?
He, she, it's all the same.
Oh, I don't think so.
Well, in any case, big strapping lad like Barry, I find it hard to believe a woman would push him in the water butt like that.
True.
So let's return to our analysis of the crime and the offer opportunity. We've established that the crime was committed between 2 and 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon by person or persons unknown. So who could have met Barry by the water butt yesterday afternoon and pushed him in? You can't all have pushed him in, there wouldn't have been any room.
Whilst who had the opportunity, Detective Inspector, it seems everyone did.
Who had the motive? That's what I would like to know.
Exactly.
Once we find out who the motive is, a small step to finding out what the motive was.
Is it?
I know you have a reputation for solving these crimes, Miss Crusty. But believe me, this isn't a work of fiction. This is facts. And it's facts I'm dealing.
Glad to hear it.
So let's establish some, shall we? Who amongst you the motive for murdering Barry? Reverend, are you telling me that you killed Barry Crackthorne after?
No, don't be ridiculous. No, I just wanted to ask a question.
Well, ask away.
How much longer is this going to go on? I've got a sermon to write.
And I've got a murder investigation to investigate. And it'll go on for as long as I say it will go on.
And how long is that?
I can't say. Let's look at other motives, shall we? Someone says the victim was a cheapskate, I believe. Somebody said Barry Crackthorne was a cheapskate. Come on, who said it? Admit it. Own up.
It was Olivia, but she left a few minutes ago.
Oh, yes.
If Libby said that, she was spot on. A man never wanted to pay for anything if he could avoid it.
Yeah, well, I'll add that to my list of motives, but it's not necessarily enough reason to kill somebody.
I'd have shot the bounder given half the chance.
You're not confessing, are you?
To what?
The murder of Barry cheapskate, Barry Crackthorne.
Hey, why would I do that?
Why would you? Tell me. What do we know about Barry Crackthorne? He ran the local gardening club. He was a bit of a hit with the ladies, I'm led to believe. That's a strong enough motive, isn't it? Barry enjoying a wee bit of furtive nookie, and the lady in question's boyfriend or husband finds out. Eh? Aye, happens much too often in my business.
I'm sure Barry wouldn't.
How can you be sure?
But I can't.
Well, indeed. Right, now let's go on. We're running out of time.
Yes, well, we haven't exactly got anywhere yet either, have we, Detective Inspector? Do you think perhaps the circumstances we should continue tomorrow?
I'll decide how this investigation's investigated, Miss Crusty.
Harry, what kept you?
Oh, I got a bit tied up.
So you must be not, I assume. Well, you're here now. Where were you yesterday between 2 and 3 o'clock?
I was here, in the hall.
Anybody vouch for that?
No, I was on my own most of the time. Well, until that lady there turned up, the novelist lady, Miss Crusty.
Crusty?
Oh yeah, that too.
So you could have at any time between the said hours went round the back of the hall with the express purpose of drowning Mr. C?
Why would I want to do that?
Tell me, why would you want to?
I didn't want to.
What about your wife, Harry?
My wife?
You've got a wife, haven't you?
Yes,
A
Caroline.
lot younger than you, isn't she?
Yeah.
The truth, she wanted a divorce.
Well, maybe.
Aye, she talked about wanting to marry Barry. Eh? Aye, with his green fingers and the grass always being greener, so to speak. Eh? I'm sure you get my drift.
No.
Oh, you don't expect me to believe that, Mr. Knott. Barry Crunthorpe.
Crackthorpe.
Barry Crackthorne with his green fingers and your wife one greener grass. We know what that leads, don't we? Eh? You'd do anything to stop that, wouldn't you? Isn't it true you didn't want Carrie to marry Barry, Harry? Is that it? Isn't it true that you refused to let Carrie marry Barry, Harry?
Oh, no, stop. You're confusing me. I don't know what this is all about, but it's not true. We came here because I found some evidence.
Evidence?
Yes, evidence.
Go on.
Well, because the water butt had become contaminated, so to speak, I decided to get Gary to give me a hand to empty it.
Gary who?
Name don't matter. It's Parry, if you must know.
Gary Parry.
Name don't matter. What matters is what I found in the water butt.
So what was found at the bottom of the water but by you and Gary Parry, Harry?
This.
An earring?
Yes. What looks like to me a rather expensive diamond earring.
Wait a minute, let me look at that. Yes, I think it is.
Is what exactly?
It's Olivia's.
Oh!
I think if we can put it here, Agatha. Yes, that's lovely.
How many chairs will you need?
Oh, there's only 5 in our circle, that's all. You're welcome to join us.
Oh, I haven't done any knitting for years.
Would you have macrame? You could learn that too.
Well, perhaps.
Great, I'll go get the things then, shall I? So, what did you think of yesterday's revelation then, Agatha?
About Olivia's earring, you mean?
Yes, a bit incriminating, wouldn't you say? Twigs living at a 3rd degree, I hear. Still, I can't believe it. Not of Olivia, anyway. But you never know.
Yep. As you say, you never know.
Oh, hiya, how are you doing? Getting things ready for this evening?
Fine, thanks, Eleanor.
Not that we're in much mood for enjoying ourselves, so it is all very distressing, isn't it?
And it's such a busy time of year, what with the concert and the panto.
Well, at least they should be fun.
I suppose so, but Sebastian can be a bit of a tyrant, though.
Sebastian?
Sebastian Chambers. You must be obeyed in all things, thespian and musical.
He's the director, I take it.
Dictator, more like. He's ruthless. He wouldn't think twice about stabbing somebody in the back.
Oh, I hope not.
Still, we shouldn't be too critical. He does put on a great show at the end of the day. It would just be nicer if he were, well, nicer.
And are you both acting or singing?
Oh, I'm playing the wicked stepmother in the panto.
How exciting. What is it?
Snow White and the 7 vertically challenged persons.
I see.
I'm just in the chorus. Which reminds me, I bumped into Tina earlier. She was going on about that Gilbert and Sullivan thing. Oh, that she was.
I bet. Where is she?
Oh, she's just popped into the back room to get some rehearsal in before Sebastian gets back.
Well, let's hope it's done him some good and he comes back in a better mood.
Well, we can but hope.
Hello, ladies. Nice to see you all.
Morning, Vicar. How are you today?
Oh, not bad, all things considered. Well, at least the detective inspector has let Olivia go. No evidence, apparently. Still, I've heard that hasn't stopped him in the past.
He does have a rather impetuous nature, doesn't he?
Indeed he does. Anyway, I've just popped in to see if I left a book here last night. I wondered if it was around here anywhere.
Oh, yes, I found one under a chair. I popped it in the back storeroom.
Oh, that'll be one. Thank you.
Did you manage to get your sermon written, Toby?
Very nearly, yes. I'm basing it on the parable of the good and the bad fruits.
Very apt.
I hear Tina's here already. Truly, she has the voice of an angel, doesn't she?
That's one way of putting it.
I'd best get that book and get off there.
Oh, I should be going to. Is there anything I can do for you?
No, thank you, Eleanor.
This is it. Toodaloo then. Quite lovely.
Oh, I don't know what he sees in her. Really, I don't.
Oh, Eleanor, she has got a beautiful voice.
Has she? Has she indeed? Anyway, things to do.
Oh, you will be joining us this evening, won't you? Agatha's staying.
Oh, yes. I expect so.
Right. Let's get these things sorted, and then I'll put the kettle on for a cup of tea, shall I?
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Yes. I just wish you'd sing something different once in a while.
I think your wish has been granted.
It's horrible. It's just horrible.
If you two ladies could have a seat in here, Detective Inspector Twig will be in shortly.
Is she?
I'm afraid so. The ambulance is on its way to collect her.
In her prime, too.
Oh, don't you worry. You not the lawyers at their desk.
I hope you do.
What do we have here, eh? Another dead body and you two standing as cool as cucumbers next door.
We were merely getting ready for this evening, Detective Inspector. The first we heard of Tina's death was we heard her scream in the back room.
Aye, no doubt. You can leave us now, lock it. See if somebody else saw anything, will you? Right, you two, take a seat. You tell me about it.
Was she, strangled, Detective Inspector?
No. Stabbed.
Stabbed? That's
it.
awful.
Round blade. Just a little like blade. Sis?
It's a knitting needle?
Ah, I don't think you can fool me. Don't pull the wool over my eyes, madam. It looks to me like... In fact, it's got every indication which caused the demise of Miss Topple.
Topping.
I remember you when Miss Topping bought it, may I ask?
I was in here.
I can vouch for that.
Aye, you're probably working in collision for all I know.
Conclusion.
Aye, that too. Now, I have to ask you without putting too fine a point on it. Did you stab the deceased?
Of course not. Don't be ridiculous.
Well, I have to ask you in order to eliminate you from my inquiry. So if neither of you stabbed the deceased, the question remains who did?
That's what you're supposed to find out, Detective Inspector.
That's what I will find out. You mark my word.
Good. Detective Inspector Twig.
Yes.
I wonder, Detective Inspector, have you considered the possibility that Tina Topping and Barry Cragthorne are related?
Can they be?
In my view, there's every likelihood.
You mean like cousins, perhaps?
What? it.
Oh, that could be a possibility.
Precisely.
May I ask, if I may be so bold, what you're getting at?
Well, it occurs to me that Tina Topping and Barry Crackthorne were both in the hall committee.
Yes?
And
Yes?
so were Wendy Timms and Arthur Grimm.
The yoga woman and the cleaner's husband, you mean?
Yes.
Are you suggesting?
Yes.
The Grimms and Timms were accidents?
Were they?
Grimms were cleaning his gun and it went off and Timms fell down the stairs.
Who's to say that Grimm wasn't shot by someone else? And could Wendy have been pushed or tripped up by someone?
Aha!
Yes.
I think I see a pattern emerging here.
At last.
You're not suggesting, that you think somebody's killing off the hall members one by one.
It looks that way.
But I'm in the hall committee too.
Could I ask, Detective Inspector, if I might be permitted to have a look round Wendy Timms' house?
Why would you want to do that? What are you looking for?
Well, I'm not sure, but I feel that something doesn't add up. I might find a clue, perhaps.
Well, do any harm? Well, ask Lockett to go with you.
Thank you. That really is most considerate
No, not a dicky bird.
You know, it really is too much. This is the second time he's let us down. Haven't we got enough to worry about? All these murders. I had to cancel an in-class last night, and I've a good mind to suspend these art classes too, if Mortimer keeps being so unreliable.
Mind you, we haven't exactly got many budding artists here, have we? Probably too frightened to show their faces, I shouldn't wonder.
It's only just gone 8, they'll be here soon, but Mortimer really should be here to get things ready. I see someone's been kind enough to put the easels out.
Not me.
No?
No. No model here yet either.
Model? What model?
Well, it's a live class tonight, isn't it? That's why I'm surprised nobody's here yet.
What do you mean, live class?
You know, live class. As in drawing from life.
I take it you don't mean still life?
Well, we suppose you'll have to keep quite still, otherwise you'll be hard into trouble.
You're not suggesting. I hope you're not suggesting, Harry, that there's to be the drawing of a female in a state of undress. Tell me that's not what you're suggesting, Harry.
No, it's not what I'm suggesting.
Good.
No, it's true.
What? You said it wasn't.
Beg your mind, have you told me not to suggest that?
Am I to understand that there's to be a woman in a state of undress in this church hall? All Saints Church Hall, for goodness sake.
No, not exactly the state of undress, no.
Thank heavens.
Or starkers, really. After all, it is a live class.
It's an outrage, that's what it is. What will Toby say when he finds out?
He said he'd try and get along.
What?
Well, that's why I'm surprised nobody's here yet.
I can't believe it. I just can't.
Excuse me, is this the art class?
Oh yes, can I help you?
I'm Mandy, your model.
Oh yeah, right.
Mr. Gascoigne booked today.
Oh yeah, very nice, yeah.
So, where can I get dressed then?
You are dressed.
Oh, you know what I mean.
Oh, sorry, you can get changed. You can get It's through there in the kitchen.
All right, thanks, Wolf.
I just do not believe it. It is all too much.
Not too late, am I?
No, not started yet.
Vicar, Toby, might I have a word?
Yes, of course.
I don't quite know how to put this.
Oh, what is it, Eleanor? You do seem unusually agitated.
Well, it's just that, do you know what's happening here this evening?
It's an art class, you know. I thought I'd try something. You know, what with all these dreadful murders going on, it's been quite unsettling.
Indeed it has.
And so I thought, well, an art class, you know, it would give me a new perspective, get the creative juices flowing.
You would certainly do that.
Yes, but I need to get out a bit more, you know, Eleanor.
If you'd like to go out.
No, well, then, what I mean is it's not good for me to be all alone in that vicarage, you see.
No, indeed it is not.
Yes, and so I need to put myself out a bit more.
In a manner of speaking.
Yes. The world, Eleanor, it's a beautiful place, despite all the dreadful things that have been happening in it. And I need to see more of it. I need to get closer to nature. Do you know what I mean?
I think I do.
Yes. I want to see the world in all its naked glory, as God intended it to be.
I'm not quite sure God intended you to. Actually, Toby, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I'm not sure that tonight is quite what you're expecting.
Oh, in what way?
Well, it's just that.
I'm ready.
Oh, hello. Have you come to join us tonight?
Yeah, of course.
But why are you wearing a dressing gown?
Oh, sorry, I thought you wanted me to wait till everyone was here. Well, just take it off now.
Just wait in there, would you? Thank you.
What is going on?
Nothing.
What about the life class then?
But there's no one here, Harry.
Well, only near as the vicar's here.
Not enough.
Oh.
Haven't missed the start, have I?
What?
I've been out bagging rabbits, see? So, where's the bit of stuff?
Some stuff?
Didn't see you there, Vicar. I didn't think this was your sort of game.
It isn't.
Look, I haven't got all night, you know, so do you want me to take my clothes off or not?
Yes!
No! Look, as the All Saints Hold Committee Chair and Manager, I am taking responsibility here. I'm afraid, young lady, that Mr. Gascoigne has not appeared for some reason, so I'm sorry to say that tonight's meeting has been cancelled.
Hey, we don't need old Gascoigne, Eleanor. We can just make it up as we go along.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes, I don't see why we...
My mind is made up. I'm sorry. Tonight's session is over.
Oh.
And I'm going to pack things up.
Oh.
there, did you?
Good heavens, no. But I didn't expect someone to close the door on me either. Most discombobulating.
I am sure. Can you explain why you're lurking in a cupboard?
Something doesn't add up. I couldn't help wondering why poor Mr. Gascoigne was murdered in the cupboard like that.
Probably because somebody didn't like him.
I expect you're right there, Inspector. There is a sort of synchronicity about it, isn't there? They say, you know, that he was quite ruthless, always ready to stab people in the back. Metaphorically, you understand.
Well, I've no idea what the weather's got to do with it, but maybe meteorology, that's got to do with the weather, isn't it? The weather affected him. You might be right, you'll find this hard to believe, but drizzle affects me terribly.
Never mind. But the thing is, Detective Inspector, I think you'll find that the post-mortem result will show you that he wasn't stabbed. Though he was stabbed, of course, but that wasn't what killed him.
I don't understand.
I have to agree with you for once, Mr. Twig. I don't yet understand either. In fact, this case has many confusing aspects to it.
I can say that again. And you've been crawling round Wendy Timothy's house too, I hear.
Indeed. As I thought, it might not have been an accident.
T.C. Lockett said you found a small hook at the top of the stairs.
2 small hooks, one either side. It's my guess that there was fishing line or similar stretched between them, which poor Wendy didn't notice until it was too late.
Deliberate then, you reckon?
What do you think, Inspector?
Yes, but there was no guarantee she'd break her neck though, was there?
True, but it was a flagstone floor, so there was a good possibility.
What about Maisie Grimsey's husband? I don't think that was an accident either.
I'm not sure there's any way of proving that one way or the other, but I think there's every likelihood that it wasn't an accident, yes.
Aye, the plot thickens. So they'd say one of your crime novels.
Indeed.
That's the yoga woman, Grim Bloke, Barry Crun Cake, Gina Topside, and then the arty fellow.
Mortimer Gascoigne, yes.
Well, that's 5 murders! Did anybody want to bump off the committee like that?
Why indeed?
It's a mystery. Did you find anything in the cupboard?
Oh. Only this.
What is it?
It's a scarf.
So that scarf's hardly important, is it?
On the contrary, Inspector, I think it's highly significant.
Oh, well, good. I was taking another thinking hats on then, eh? I think 2 heads, as they say, are better than one. And if we put our heads together, we'll be ahead of the game.
I'm not quite sure what you're saying, but I think I get the drift.
Well, I better be off doing what I do best.
Oh, what's that, Detective Inspector?
Why, detective inspecting, of course. Morning, Vicar.
Morning. Hello. Alice said you were in here.
Yes, I was curious about what happened at the art class.
Oh, dreadful, dreadful. But that's what I've come to talk to you about. I have a theory, you see.
Well, I'd be very interested to hear it, but shouldn't we share it with Mr. Twig?
Oh, well, I have to say I'm a little bit skeptical about his capabilities.
I see.
So I thought perhaps if I talked to you...
Of course.
Hello, Vicar. I've given the kitchen a good clean as you asked.
Oh, thanks, mate. That's yes. Thank you. Thanks again. So, Miss Crook, or may I call you Agatha?
Please do.
I feel as if I know you already, you see, through your books.
Oh, I didn't know you read crime books, Vicar.
Toby?
Oh, Toby.
Oh, yes, I'm quite the crime aficionado, you know.
Really? You had a theory, you say?
Oh, yes, Vikings.
Vikings.
Yes, someone suggested suggested them to me.
Vikings were suggested to you?
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I think I have to explain.
Well, someone in the History Society mentioned them.
Mentioned what?
Well, the Vikings, they were very active in this area, you see.
And you think they have something to do with the murders?
Directly? Oh, good gracious, no.
Indirectly, perhaps.
Well, you see, this is a Norman church, but Chortleby is a Viking name,
And?
well, before the Normans built the church, there was a Viking one at the same site, and local myth has it that there was a hoard of Viking coins and jewellery buried on the site, somewhere near where we are now, in fact.
Even if that was so, it doesn't explain why.
Well, you see, the church has been honoured as to sell this hall for some time now, but with it being so well used, well, the committee would be dealing with it, of course.
But if it wasn't used, they might as well sell it.
Exactly.
Oh, I don't know. It seems an awful lot of trouble to go to. Murdering people like that on the remote chance that there might be a treasure hoard somewhere here? Why, it's a bit like expecting to find a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow.
Yes, but except for this.
What is it?
It's a Viking coin. 8850.
It's got through to him that he's looking for someone who doesn't think twice about murder.
Yeah, but I think about it all the time.
What do you mean?
No, I don't mean I think about murdering people, no. It's these beastly murders, they're so distressing. The only thing that would take my mind off it is if I take myself shopping.
You'll be here for the cookery tonight, though, won't you?
If I feel up to it, but honestly, the whole episode has left me quite bereft. Poor Oliver's at a loss too. He doesn't know how to content me because I'm just moping about the house. So he has to content himself by going out and shooting things. It must be such a bore for him.
12 bore, no doubt.
What? No.
Sorry, couldn't resist it.
No, you're right. We really should be keeping our peppers up. I think that's why he went to the art class.
To keep his pecker up.
Exactly. Yes. He's determined to stick with the panto too.
Oh, that's good.
Yes. Eleanor, did you say there was a rehearsal tomorrow night?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, is Sebastian back then?
Not yet, but we're expecting him sometime tomorrow. He phoned me to say he'd be along in the evening, but couldn't say when exactly, as he's got a few things to sort out first. But we're to carry on, and he's expecting us to have made some progress.
Oh, well, if that's the case then, I really don't think I should come at all this evening then, Isabella. I've barely been at home all week, what with all the upsets.
Oh, you must. I'm doing party fair. You know we are. Lots of handy tips for little nibbles.
I just don't think I've got much of an appetite.
Well, Normie, I'm sorry to say, Isabella, we've got a lot on our plates at the moment, you know.
Well, to my mind, that's all the more reason for carrying on as we were. We don't want to let a little thing like murder get us down, do we?
No. Oh, you're right. Keep calm and carry on, as they say.
Good. Alice?
Oh, all right, I'll come.
might spare me a few moments. There's something I'd like to run by you.
Really? Well, yes.
Okay, well, when you're finished here, perhaps you can pop over to the vicarage.
Oh, I can come now if you like. I think we're all done here.
Yes, we'll just tidy up in the kitchen, shall we? Give me an hand, Alice.
Yes, of course.
Well, if you're finished, then yes, let's get
Right.
on.
I wonder, Vicar, might I have a word before you go?
Yes, of course.
You are popular, Vicar.
So it would seem.
2 seconds.
I'll wait for you outside, Toby.
Right, yes, see you there. Thank you.
I've been thinking about your theory, Vicar.
And?
I'm not sure it stacks up at all. I mean, it really does seem an awful lot of trouble to go to. And, well, to be frank, even if there were a horde of Vikings over here, wouldn't the murderer, wouldn't he be able to get his hands on it?
Well, yes, he would buy the hall, you see, at a knockdown price and pick it up.
But if someone came forward to buy the hall, wouldn't that rather point the finger at them as being the murderer?
Yeah, good point.
And on top of that, why wouldn't the church look for the hall themselves first? It would go a good way towards repairing the roof.
Yes, true.
In fact, one might come to the conclusion that the main people to benefit would be the church.
You're not suggesting that
No, good heavens, no. I'm merely pointing out how it might look, especially to someone like Detective Inspector Twig.
Yes.
And that's on the basis that there is a horde of Vikings over here.
Yes, well, what about the coin?
Would you mind telling me where you got that coin, Vicar?
Well,
Yes?
oh, I don't suppose it matters now that he's dead.
Are you talking about Mortimer Gascoigne?
Yes.
He's not going to benefit from finding any Viking treasure now, is he?
No.
But did he tell his theory to anyone else, I wonder?
Ah! Just so I'd let you know, I got the post-mortem results for Bamber Gascoigne.
It's Mortimer, actually.
The post-mortem results for Bamber Gascoigne.
Yes?
You were right. The actual cause of death was poisoning. So why there was a knife in his back, I don't know.
I think just for dramatic effect, and a joke of sorts. Being stabbed in the back, you see. I think it was the murderer having a laugh.
Doesn't strike me as very funny.
Well, no, murder isn't generally funny.
She can't be me, she's got no right. Just try my apple or a pear. No longer will you be so fair. It's just the thing to make you die. Your throat will burn, your tongue will fry. The bite you take will be your last. You'll kick the bucket pretty fast. Yes, my dear, you'll be no more. It's what this nasty poison's for. I'll soon be better than Snow White. She can't beat me, she's got no right. Just try my apple or a pear. No longer will you be so fair. It's just the thing to make you die. Your throat will burn, your tongue will fry. The bite you take will
after you poisoned them and you know it, can't fool me. I had the results of the PM this afternoon.
PM?
This afternoon.
I know what PM stands
All innocent Remus Wildstick. You poisoned them, just as you were planning to poison some other poor unfortunate.
What you are talking about?
I heard you in my own ears, just as it to make you die. You said,
You are mad!
I know, I'm not as mad as you or as evil.
How dare you!
Oh, I do dare! Because I'm the chief investigating officer in this case, and you are under arrest, and anything you say will be taken down and used as evidence against you.
I know what I'd like to say.
I will be careful you don't say anything you'll regret. So get away with it, did you? You must think I'm a right idiot, don't you?
Oh, you can say that again.
You must think I'm a right
Sorry, I'm,
Lockie, you're just in time.
I am?
I am.
Oh, I'm just here to see Miss Wagstaff run through my lines.
Lines?
It's okay, I'm not officially on duty until later.
What lines, Lockie? Lines of inquiry?
Well, more like lines of a panel, sir.
Panel?
Yes, sir. I'm happy.
Well, so you should be. We've got a woman here, a man, a woman.
What woman, sir?
That woman, gas pipes murdered her. What other people she was going to murder?
What do you mean with the apple, sir?
Apple, what apple?
The apple she gives to Snow White, Eleanor, Miss Wagstaff. She's the wicked stepmother, sir.
She's a wicked murderer. Have you lost control of your senses, Lockie?
Not that I know of, sir. It's just we've got to get through these rehearsals. We're like way behind.
We're rehearsing a pantomime, Detective Inspector. I'm playing the wicked stepmother, and PC Lockett is playing Abby.
You mean as in don't? You're on pain sleep. Easy.
And Dopey? Yes, that is correct. Mr. Twig, Snow White, the 7 vertically challenged persons on Christmas mantle. Now, perhaps you might let us get on, because the others will be arriving very shortly.
Right. Don't be late report for your duty, Lockett.
No, sir.
Well, I'll just go and get the props, George. The others are due any minute. Oh, and I think I've got a replacement for Lizzie, too, you'll be pleased to hear.
Good. Oh, hello, Oliver. Oh, I say. I hope you haven't been shooting on that Colonel's land again.
Ask no questions, old boy. Be told no lies. So, you fancy a little bird, do you? I could bag one for you if you like.
As long as I don't know where it came from.
Mum's the word, old boy.
Ah, good. Glad you're here, Oliver. Now, perhaps you two could help me build a little house?
Oh, playing mummies and daddies, are we?
No, Oliver. This is to be the house where Snow White is when the wicked stepmother turns up.
That's you.
That is correct. Now, perhaps if we turn this table on its side, then that might suggest the walls of the house for the moment. Excellent.
Hello, Eleanor. You don't mind if Agatha stays, do you? She'd be happy to see rehearsals.
No, of course not. Although I would want to help the Agatha, or we might rope you in for a part.
Oh, I don't think so. I haven't done any dramas in school.
Well, they say it's just like riding a bike. Once you're back in the saddle.
Sorry, old girl. What are you on about?
No matter, Oliver. Right, let's go on. Now, this is very disappointing news, I know, but I'm sorry to say that Lizzie has had to pull out from the production for various reasons.
No, couldn't put up with grumpy guts anymore.
No, I don't think that was the case, Oliver, and really, you shouldn't be referring to our director like that, not in front of other members of the cast. Sebastian will be along a bit later on, refreshed from his holiday and raring to go.
Can't wait.
But in the meantime, he's asked if we could run through a couple of scenes.
Will you be needing like the dwarfs? The vertically challenged men, the cast.
Yes, George, in a bit, if you could run them up. But meanwhile, I'd like to welcome a new member of our cast who has agreed at terribly short notice.
Vertically challenged notice, you mean?
Thank you, George. As I say, who's agreed to join our merry band of players to play Snow White instead of Lizzie. We'll just go and see if she's arrived. Her name is Mandy.
What? Mandy from the art class?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, jolly good. Snow White and the Noddy. That'll pack the punters in.
I don't think so, Oliver. So sorry to disappoint you. Ah, Mandy. There you are. Glad you could make it. Come in and meet some of your fellow actors.
Hello.
Now, this is George, Mandy.
Hello.
nature, don't you know?
Alice here is playing the nurse.
Hello.
Oh, and Alice's friend Agatha. Oh, Agatha, perhaps you could prompt. Oh, of course. Now, we are also expecting Isabella and our esteemed director, Sebastian. I think we should make a start. Now, how about we look at the scene where the wicked stepmother gives Snow White the apple? Oh, I guess we're here. Now, if you could stand there, my dear, in the doorway.
Just at the end of the table, yes.
Yes, that's correct. So you're there when I turn up at your cottage door.
Okay.
Good morning! What a lovely day! Would you like an apple? Pray.
No, apples.
Blind actually is. Yes, that would be extremely nice if I could but afford the price.
Thank you, Oliver. So, do you think you could try that, Mandy? That would be extremely nice if I could but afford the price.
That would be extremely nice if I could but afford the price.
This apple is completely free. It's a gift to you from me.
Alright, thanks.
Well, no, you don't actually have to eat the apple. Good. Just pretend to bite it, and as you do, I want you to act being poisoned.
Okay. Oh, cheers, mate.
Yes, well, perhaps you might try it a little more naturalistically, my dear.
Jolly good there, wasn't it?
Oh, cheers, mate.
Yes, but perhaps the next time you might try it a little less, what shall we say, flamboyant?
Yes.
Very well.
I'm sorry. No.
Oh, hello, Isabella. It's so lovely to see you.
Oh, very well done. Mandy, it is what I call acting, do you see? Well done, Isabella, for showing us.
Yeah, very good, very dramatic.
Do you see, Mandy, how Isabella got into the part? Totally believable and nicely restrained. Thanks for that, Isabella. Isabella? Isabella! Quick! Fetch a doctor!
Alice is the nurse.
Oh, we need a real one, for God's sake! I think Isabella's been poisoned.
Wait till an afternoon if you ask me. They got other things to do, you know.
Now, right, let's get right down to business. Let's get straight to brass tacks. No beating about the bush.
I do love it when you're so decisive, Toby.
Thank you, Eleanor, but I haven't started yet.
Sorry.
Now, I've asked Agatha to join us. I believe she has much to contribute.
Oh, jolly good.
Yes, now, there's no real easy way of saying all this. I have confided my thoughts to Agatha already, but, well, what with a natural reticence on my part, I do think it's rather difficult to put into words.
Get on with it, will you?
Yes, you're right, Harry. I should just come right out and say it.
Oh, I wish you would.
Yes, well, the thing is, I'm afraid I lack confidence in Detective Inspector Twig.
Here, here. Beastly man, do you know, looking in that police cell for 4 hours. Most humiliating. All of us said if he hadn't been out bagging rabbits, he would have given him what for?
What for what?
You know, taking a pot at him.
No, I don't think we should be taking the law into our hands.
What are we doing here then?
Well, I just thought, and say if you think I'm wrong.
Oh, I don't.
Thank you. I just thought that we could all pool our opinions, you see, and then Miss Crusty here, Crusty, yes, could perhaps form a hypothesis on our situation.
Sort out who's bumping people off, you mean?
Well, yes, exactly. You see, I think it's in all our interest to do so. I mean, we're all involved in some way with the village hall, and I think that that's the thread that runs through all these beastly murders. We've lost 6 members of the committee already, gone to meet their maker. I mean, there's Maisie's husband, Arthur, Wendy Timms, Barry, and, Tina. And we'll never hear those dulcet tones again. It's okay, I'm fine, thank you. And Mortimer.
Well, nobody liked him anyway.
No, Harry, how can you say that?
Well, it's true, isn't it? Did you like him?
No, that's hardly the point.
Could I just finish?
Yes, could we let Toby finish?
Yes, and now poor Isabella.
What was it? Do we know?
Poisoning, apparently. They think it was the smoked trout patty from the cookery evening.
But how can it have been? We all ate that.
Well, I did think that myself. I thought perhaps Agatha might help us shed some light on that.
Well, I'll do my best, but time, I fear, is against us.
Yes, exactly. That's why I've called us all together. You see, I think it's vital that we catch this murderer.
Or murderers.
Oh, do you think there might be more than one?
I never close my mind to any possibility.
Oh.
Well, what about Sebastian? Does anyone know where he is?
Well, he didn't turn up for rehearsals last night at all.
No, and I called him last night to invite him to join us here, but there was no reply. I went round this morning and, well, the house was all in darkness, no one to be seen.
I saw him yesterday afternoon.
Really?
Yeah, I was on my way to the shops and he was coming from the station.
What time would that have been?
I don't know, sometime in the afternoon, maybe. Oh, actually, it was after 2. Because I'd just finished listening to the Archers, and I thought, I fancy a nice bit of mince.
Oh, there's a train missing about 20 past.
Could be.
But you're sure it was him?
Yes, I'd recognise him anywhere.
You didn't speak to him, though?
Oh, no, I can't stand the man.
But it was definitely him.
Who else could it be? What about that ridiculous fedora hat and bright pink scarf? I'd recognise him anywhere.
You didn't see his face, though, my dear.
No, but really, who else in their right mind goes around dressed like that?
That's true, yeah.
The point is, Maisie, it could have been someone else dressed up like Sebastian, could it not?
Well, I suppose so.
Oh, this is getting really creepy. I mean, what if Sebastian is?
We have to face facts. There were 10 people on the committee. Now, as far as we know, only 4 remain. With the exception of Sebastian, we have all the remaining committee members here. We also have Harry and Maisie, and we have the vicar. Everyone, in fact, who has a direct interest in the hall. And if, as I think we can deduce, the murders are directly connected in some way to All Saints Village Hall, then there is, I'm very sorry to say, the very real possibility that the murderer could be sitting here in this very room.
Oh.
Surely not, Agatha.
It is, I believe, a real possibility, one we cannot lightly dismiss.
You mean it could be one of us?
It's possible.
Oh.
There have already been 6 murders. Does anyone here have a cast iron alibi for when any of the murders occurred?
And what about those at rehearsal last night? Surely they could have killed Isabella.
Nothing could have been easier than to have doctored the patty she was going to take home, and then simply wait for her to have a nibble.
Oh no, I can't stand this. We could all be murdered in our beds.
Calm down, Olivia. That's not helping. Why for anyone?
Ellen is right. We have, I'm afraid, to face the facts that we could be sitting next to a murderer. And painful though it is, I suggest we keep our eyes and ears open to that fact. In short, we shouldn't trust anyone.
Oh, that does go rather against my nature, I must say.
I'm afraid, Vicar, that for the moment, we shouldn't trust anyone, including you.
Oh no, you can trust Toby, of course you can.
Nobody.
But what about those not on the committee or to do with the hall, like Oliver?
But he was in the drama society, though, wasn't he, Olivia?
Yes, but only wouldn't hurt a fly.
No, he's happy enough to blast away a poor defenceless rabbit, isn't he?
You take that back.
Well, it's true, he just sort of shoots something as look at it.
You can't.
Ladies, please! This isn't getting us anywhere. I mean, it's one thing to exercise a natural caution, quite a lot to throw out random accusations. If we do that, we're no better than Detective Inspector Twig.
Well, that's true. I mean, he's already accused half of us of the slimmest of evidence. I mean, what do you suggest we do, Agatha?
Well, I do have a theory, but I'll need to test it out.
Dude, that's marvelous. What is it?
Well, I can hardly tell you that now, can I? No, I'm afraid I'll have to keep it to myself till I'm sure.
Keep what to yourself.
You're trouble.
I hope you're not holding anything back for this investigation. Having a party, are we? All the likely suspects are here. Everyone except Sebastian Chambers.
Yes. We don't know where he is, Detective Inspector.
Well, that's where I'm one step ahead of you see. A wee bit indisposed at the moment, so to speak. Handcuffed to the banisters in his house.
No!
Yes. Anybody recognise this? The delightful dalliance with Sebastian Chambers.
Yeah, that's his play.
Indeed.
Yes, he wanted us to perform it, didn't he?
Take it you didn't.
Oh no, it was quite ghastly. It was rampant. There was a terrible scene.
They were all terrible scenes from what I can remember. The whole thing stank.
Yes, but Sebastian did say it was brilliant, whatever we thought of it, and he'd have it performed one day, he said.
Well, I'm afraid he's had to eat his words.
What do you mean?
Well, the rest of the script, it seems, was stuffed down his throat. He's suffocated by his own play.
Are you saying he's dead, Inspector?
As I told you.
Surely not.
I'm afraid so.
Well, he's murdered enough scripts in his time.
Take it you
I'd be
didn't.
surprised to find the scripts murdered him.
Take it you didn't rate him as an actor then.
He was totally over the top most of the time. Sort of a Laurence Olivier on speed.
Well, he rarely trod the boards himself, Inspector, but he was rather better at directing than taking it.
Talk about corpse, in it?
Harry, that's totally uncalled for. The poor man's dead.
Nobody liked him.
But what was that you were saying about him being handcuffed, Detective Inspector?
Yes. Whoever handcuffed him to the banisters and stuffed the script in his mouth to stop him actually breaking free, but it's worse.
Worse?
Yeah, the handcuffs belong to PC Lockett.
You don't think?
Lockett, no. Point I'm making is, whoever did this to Mr. Chummy removed the said handcuffs from a member of his Royal Majesty's police force. Now he's still in police property. That's a very serious matter indeed.
I should have thought going about murdering people was a rather more serious matter, Detective Inspector.
Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think we've got the murderer on the run and we're closing in.
And how do you figure that out?
Because in my opinion, he's running out of options.
He's running out of victims and was hardly in the committee left.
Yes, you tell him, Toby.
Well, that may be so, I suppose. That's why we need to understand what it is it makes a murderer murder. Now, we've looked at motive, opportunity and means, and a combination of detection, application and dedication in solving the crimes. Now here's a new one for you. Thank you. That Sunday was listening. Here's a new one for you. Mrs.
Mrs. who?
Nobody.
Mrs. Mary. Who's she?
She's nobody.
Yes, I know, you just said.
It's an acronym.
It's an acronym, what's it, like the lady said.
Is all this really necessary, Inspector?
Well, I think it is, Vicar. Mrs. gives us an opportunity to look at the three main reasons murders are committed.
What are they?
M's for money, often a very powerful reason, mainly to get your hands on other people's money.
It is often a powerful motivator.
Correct. R, on the other hand, is for revenge, also another powerful motive.
And S, Inspector?
S is the S word, you know. Sometimes the most vital and powerful motive.
Well, you don't mean
Yes.
sex?
Yes.
I don't think we should be discussing you know what in a church hall.
I'm sorry, there's no time to be formal at this. No, there's a killer on the loose.
No, it's no good. I can't stand it. All the talk of murderers and things. I need some fresh air.
Poor Olivia, she's very upset by it all.
No.
She's upset. And what about us?
We're all upset. Although I go and make everyone a nice cup of tea.
Yes.
It seems none of you lot are interested in tracking down them responsible.
Well, what we are thinking, Inspector, is actually that you might not be the right person to be in charge of this investigation.
Yeah.
Are you accusing me of carrying out these crimes?
God, Lord, give me strength.
Think he'll help you, do you? Well, you don't appear to want the benefit of my experience. Well, I'll bid you lot good night, and I'll see you in the morning.
Good riddance on my side. Yeah.
He's just made things worse as far as I can see.
Has anyone seen Livy? She asked me to meet her here.
Oh, she went out. Feeling a bit queasy, I think.
I take it you've not heard?
And what?
Sebastian's the latest to go.
Yeah. Go where?
Go.
Dead, you mean?
Yes, and Agatha says we shouldn't trust anyone.
I don't.
No, you know what I mean, Oliver.
Well, I'm not surprised someone did what for Sebastian. It saved me the bother.
Oliver, how can you say that?
So has anyone seen Livy? I don't want her running about us certain there's a murderer on the loose. Shall go and find her.
Oh, here we are. Let's get this down here.
Stutter that.
Why ever not?
It could be poisoned.
Oh, yes, that's right. We shouldn't trust anyone.
You don't honestly think that I would poison you?
Why not? How would we know? You're not a mass murderer.
Oh, this is all a nightmare. It can't be real. I mean, there must be an explanation.
Help me, someone! There's a man after me!
Well, the first
That was uncalled for. I think we should all calm down a bit, don't you?
Yes.
That would be a good idea, yes. And what you were saying, Alice, a minute ago, I believe you're right, my dear. Yes, I really think you're right. In fact, I think the solution has finally presented itself to me. Why didn't I see it before?
But are you going to tell us, Agatha?
All in good time. There's just one thing that I have to check out, and then I think I'll be in a position to reveal all tomorrow.
Shame you're not Mandy then, isn't it, really?
Has anyone seen Livy? She said there was a man chasing her.
She went through there.
I know you're in there somewhere.
Right. 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 Brought you all here together, with the exception of Oliver Truscott, trapped, who's currently in the care of PC Lockett for discharging a firearm in a public place. Listen to Miss Crusty. She's got some information she'd like to share with us, which might highlight shed some light on some of the heinous crimes that have been taking place in this hitherto quiet village. Miss Crusty.
Thank you, Detective Inspector. I'd like to start where I started, with my arrival here in Charterbury to stay with Alice. It seemed I'd hardly been here 2 minutes when we heard that Barry Cragthorne had been found dead in a water butt. And so started a series of events which, quite frankly, horrified me. Hear, hear. It was obvious from the start that we had a murder on our hands, but whose hands exactly?
Exactly! Continue, miss.
Thank you. Let's look first at the so-called clue of the earring, shall we? It seemed obvious to me that someone had deliberately put Olivia's earring in the water butt to incriminate her.
I told you so.
But then I thought, perhaps it was a double bluff. I mean, you really did have the opportunity and the motive, didn't you, Olivia?
But that man put me through hell over that.
But he didn't actually charge you, did he?
No, because even he knew I was never going to be strong enough to push a man as big as Barry into the water bucket.
Not exactly silk-like, though, are you?
Of course, you might have managed it with some help. Someone very close to you, perhaps?
And you can't be insinuating that all of them are somehow implicated.
Yeah, I knew it. Hey, my copper's intuition told me it was wrong and all along. Well, you can join your brother in junk. Olive Muscot Pratt, I'm arresting you.
Not so fast, dear Twig. It wasn't Olivia.
It wasn't.
No. Indeed, how do we know that the earring was ever in the water butt? We only have Harry's word after all.
Yeah, we've gone through all that before.
But you must admit you might have had a very powerful motive for murdering Barry.
I've admit nothing, because I ain't done nothing.
What about the others? You admit you didn't like Sebastian Chambers.
I couldn't stand the smarmy writer, but what he could.
And Mortimer Gascoigne?
Thought he was arty-farty to work too. Ain't no reason to kill him.
Perhaps not.
What about Isabella then? Why would I want to kill her?
Yes, her death had me puzzled for a while. She hadn't been on the committee long, had she?
Couple of months, perhaps.
What was it she died of? Poison in the patty.
Apparently.
As you say, apparently.
So what
I'll
you-
return to that later.
So what are you saying? Did Harry kill them or not?
Oh,
Not.
Harry not.
Not. Goodness sake, Mr. Twig, get a grip. But let us return to Olivia's earring. If Harry did find it in the water butt, as he says, then the murderer put it there. But how, I wondered, did he get hold of it? Perhaps the earring simply dropped off and it was picked up by the murderer, who realized it would be useful. Or it could have been deliberately stolen. But who would have the opportunity? Someone employed to clean the Truscott Pratt's house, perhaps.
oh.
What are you suggesting?
You clean a lot of houses in this village, don't you, Maisie?
What of it?
So you could have stolen the earring. You could have injected poison into the patty when it was in Isabella's fridge, too. You used to clean her house, didn't you?
So, that's a coincidence, that's all.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. It got me wondering what other houses you cleaned. Wendy Tinn's, for instance, where I found 2 hooks at the top of the stairs, which could have had something stretched between them to trip her up.
That wasn't me. I never cleaned Wendy's house. I've never even been in the place.
I know.
What did you say about those hooks for then?
It seemed such a neat solution. But then this case, as I've said before, isn't always what it seems.
Oh, good. I'm glad to get that settled then.
You don't want me to arrest her then?
You really aren't too ready to arrest people, aren't you?
My job?
Yes. But let's establish who the murderer is first, shall we?
Yeah.
And by your own acronym, Detective Inspector, MRS, I thought it might be useful to look at possible motives. Money, revenge, sex. All powerful reasons for killing. Vicar, you came to me with what you thought was a money motive, didn't you?
About the Vikings, yes.
Yes.
Well, I told them about the the legend that there is buried Viking silver somewhere on the site.
And you suggested to me that perhaps someone was trying to scare off users of the hall so that the church would sell it and the hoard could be found.
Yes.
But as I pointed out to you, whoever bought the hall would, by implication, be a possible murderer.
Yes.
But then I had another thought. If, as you believe, there is treasure beneath these floorboards, then that would solve the church's financial crisis, wouldn't it?
Yes, probably.
But to look for the hoard would mean demolishing the hall, would it not?
Oh, almost certainly.
And all the while the hall's so well used, the committee wouldn't let that happen, would it?
No.
But if there weren't a committee...
No, you're not suggesting that I would...
No. But perhaps someone else. Someone who would do anything for you, who worshipped you, might.
That is just preposterous.
You had the opportunity. As chair of the committee, you not only have complete access to the hall, you also can ensure that people aren't around when you don't want them to be.
That is a ridiculous suggestion. Toby, tell her!
It's an outrageous
I
suggestion.
have to consider all possibilities, Vicar.
Want me to arrest them now then?
It was only a possibility, Mr. Twig.
You're telling me they didn't do it then?
No.
Oh, you're confusing me.
Easily done. As I've said, this case is most puzzling. What appears to be one thing turns out to be another. For example, Mortimer Gascoigne appeared to have been stabbed, but he was in fact poisoned. Or rather, he was asphyxiated. Isn't that true, Mr. Twig?
Was it?
Have your notes there, Detective Inspector.
Mortimer Gascoigne died as a result of a lack of oxygen due to being poisoned by an excess of nitrous oxide.
Thank you. And Wendy Tim's death appeared to have been caused by her tripping over what I assume to have been a fishing line stretched across the top of the stairs. However, I'm confident that it was no such thing.
What?
No, Alice. I think the cause of her death is obvious.
Oh.
Oh, what are you all looking at me for?
You said it yourself, Alice, yesterday.
What did I say?
You said it was all a nightmare. It wasn't real. There had to be a simple explanation.
Yes, and?
I believe there's a very simple explanation for Wendy Tim's death.
Which is?
She tripped.
Oh.
Wendy Tim simply tripped to the top of the stairs and fell down, breaking her neck on the flagstone floor. The hooks, as it turns out, were for a stairgate, which is long since gone.
She wasn't murdered. What about the rest?
Oh, there were undoubtedly murders committed. 5 murders in total.
Ali Cheapskate, Isabella Butterley, Mortimer Gaspipe, Ashton Watson, Martina Topside 5, and on top of that there's the grim bloke.
Maisie's husband, yes. Except he wasn't murdered either.
Oh. Yes, he was. He was shot. I've got a certain person in Click right now who's 2-3 days he was shot. Good for my liking.
Can't still be trying to say that Oliver is.
No, Oliver didn't shoot Arthur Grimm.
He didn't. Who did?
Nobody.
Me?
He shot himself.
Oh.
It's true, isn't it, Maisie?
Arthur! Oh, Arthur!
How do you know he shot himself?
I'd suspected as much for a little while, but then, this morning, a letter came for me.
Who's it from?
Isabella Battersby.
Oh.
I'll read it out. Dear Miss Crusty, by the time you read this, I'll be long gone. I couldn't have all those deaths on my conscience any longer, and killing Sebastian was the last straw. I don't know what made me do it, but I do know that I can't live with myself any longer, so I'm going to poison myself. Please forgive me. Signed, Isabella Battersby.
Oh, at last, right, got her. Where is she?
She's dead.
Right, of course, then. That nearly solves that one then, doesn't it?
I'm afraid not. What do you mean, Agatha? The poison which killed Isabella Battersby, which was in the pâté?
Smoked trout.
Yes, well, it turns out to have been a red herring.
Smoked trout with a red head.
I believe so.
What are you talking about, Agatha?
Isabella didn't kill herself, and she didn't kill anybody else either.
But the letter?
The letter is a forgery. It's typed apart from a scribbled signature at the bottom, which I'm willing to guess was simply copied from another of Isabella's letters.
Who would want to go to all that trouble? To throw us off the scent, eh? To ensure we close the case? Well, they've got another thing coming if they think I'll fall for that one.
It must be extraordinary to be able to perform such feats of mental gymnastics as you do, Inspector.
You think so?
No.
And what's this got to do with Maisie's husband?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? That's what led me to believe that Arthur Grimm's death was suicide, just as Isabella's wasn't.
But why would he kill himself, Agatha?
I'm sorry to have to say this, Eleanor, but Arthur Grimm killed himself because he was driven to it.
Oh.
Driven to it?
I don't believe he was a very strong man mentally, and I think that being on the committee was simply too much for him. We all know what committees are like. All the backbiting and bickering simply got the better of him. He couldn't take any more.
He used to come in a right state sometimes. I can't stand it anymore, he'd say. But you know, I just didn't think that he'd go and do something as stupid as kill himself.
When did you decide to take your revenge on the committee, Maisie?
Maisie? Maisie did it?
Yes, I'm afraid so. Maisie is our murderer. So when did you decide to start killing off the committee, Maisie? Was it after Wendy Timms fell downstairs?
Yes. It seems so simple. Thought if I could make it look like an accident, I'd get rid of them all. And it would be easy.
And Barry was easy, wasn't it?
But
Yes.
Maisie can't have done it. How could she push a big bloke like Barry into that water bath?
Barry Cragthorne regarded himself as a bit of a ladies' man, didn't he?
He certainly did.
Well, that was his undoing. He couldn't resist a damsel in distress. So when Maisie told him that she'd dropped an earring into the water butt when filling a watering can, he offered to take a look. Of course, it was Olivia's earring, which she dropped in just before. So when Barry saw the earring at the bottom of the butt, he got onto an oak box in an attempt to reach it. Then, reaching down into the water, it hardly took any effort for her to grab his feet and overturn her. Then all she had to do was hang on to his feet to stop him struggling and his breaking free. And in a few moments, it was all over. Remember, we only have Maisie's word that she saw Barry alive when on her way to Tina Topping's house.
What about the rest of them? She talked to Topham women, no problem, I suppose.
Quick stab with a stiletto, yes, that's all it took.
How could you, Maisie? How could you?
Oh, Toby! Toby!
I dread to think how she enticed Sebastian to wear the handcuffs, which she'd obviously stolen from P.C. Lockett. But once he was in such a compromising position, feeding him his own script would have been relatively easy.
Well, he certainly deserved it.
Mrs. Butterfly would have been easy peasy.
Isabella Battersby, you mean? Yes, that was just as I suggested. A good dose of poison into the patty and then concocting the so-called confession letter.
And she killed poor Isabella just to throw us off the scent.
I believe so, yes. She
Oh.
knew we were getting closer.
Closing in, as I said.
As you say, Inspector.
What was all that business with the cupboard? The scarf you found?
Ah, yes. I couldn't work out how someone could stab someone in a cupboard. But then again, things weren't what they seemed at first. The knife was just a sick joke, wasn't it, Maisie? And as we know, the post-mortem revealed that Mortimer Gascoigne was killed by nitrous oxide poisoning. Laughing gas to you and me.
Oh.
If you look in the cupboard, find a small hole. Maisie drilled it so that she could attach a hose to the canister. Then all she needed to do was get Mortimer Gascoigne to go into the cupboard on some pretext, perhaps to put a new shelf up or something. The minute he was in, she slammed the door shut, just as she did when I was in it.
But what about banging?
But there would be nobody to hear. And then she simply turned on the gas.
Risky.
Not really. The cupboard was only used for storing Mortimer's art stuff and Maisie's cleaning things. Then in the morning, all she needed to do was prop Mortimer up, stick a knife in his back for effect, and close the door on him.
What about the scarf you found?
She used that as a mask, just in case.
So you're telling me Mortimer Gascoigne get killed by one?
Mortimer Gascoigne, yes.
Well, where did you get laughing gas from, Maisie?
Well, she used to clean for the Toppings, didn't she? And what did Mr. Topping do for a living?
He's a dentist.
Oh, yes. What could be easier than to steal the canister when she was cleaning and then simply replace it later? I think if we go to Mr. Topping's surgery, we will find an empty canister of nitrous oxide.
But wouldn't somebody have noticed that the canister was empty?
But his wife had just been killed, hadn't she? I think he had other things on his mind.
Oh, poor Tina.
Well, I never. Still, I knew I'd get it solved, given the time. Thank you, Miss Crusty, for the help you've given me.
You're welcome.
I do believe I've got an uncanny ability for sniffing out criminals, you know. I've always believed I would be magnificent working in night shift and undercover.
Really?
Oh yes, we can see it now. Detective Inspector Twig. Special brand.
Aye, very funny. Look at arrest that woman. Or that woman. And 5 counts of murder. Case solved, I believe.
So, have you got any plans for another book then, Miss Crusty?
Oh, yes, Harry, thank you. Plenty of ideas.
So, Jolby's been a bit of an inspiration, I think you might say.
Well, yes.
There you go, you see, I told you. A touch of realism. That's what your readers want.
Well, yes.
So, maybe you could include me in your next book, eh? How about the dashing hero, perhaps?
Shall we go get some afternoon tea, Agatha?
Oh, yes, please. That would be lovely.
Well, what is it? The dashing hero or not?
Sadly, Harry, not.